All right, so I just got back from watching It Ends With Us, the movie adaptation of the best-selling novel by Colleen Hoover, a novel that I have not read. I've heard lots of buzz about Colleen Hoover. A lot of people like her, and a lot of people really don't like her. But nonetheless, this movie, based off of the book was very popular, bestseller. A lot of people talked about it, so of course they're going to make a movie out of it. So again, I have not read the book. I don't know how good or bad the book may be. I went and saw the movie. So I'm just judging the movie here. This movie, my feelings for this movie are kind of similar to my feelings on the movie Trap. Now, these movies, Trap and It Ends With Us, don't really have anything to do with each other. One is about a serial killer dad who gets trapped in a concert. One is a romance movie about domestic abuse, domestic violence. So not much correlation there, kinda, I guess. But my feelings are similar, are comparable, I guess, in the sense that I liked the first 2/3 of Trap, and I didn't really like the last third. And for It Ends With Us, I didn't really like the first 2/3, but I really liked the last third. And I think that works in this movie's favor. So I am leaning a bit more positive for this movie, even though I only really liked a third of it. And it's because that last third kind of restructures how I thought of the first 2/3. So it made the whole movie a bit better. Not something that will become my favorite of all time, or my favorite movie of the year, or anything like that. But it made me enjoy the movie a lot more than I was previously. And I don't want to go into spoilers, although if you see the trailer, you can kind of tell how the movie's gonna go. I will say that I didn't like the first 2/3 because it was leaning very heavily into the romantic soap drama schmaltzy cliches and not doing a lot to change them. It was very kind of like a daydream fantasy kind of world. Everybody's making sweeping grand gestures, and everybody's beautiful and rich and wears fashionable clothing, and the dialogue is overly emotional all the time, and that sort of stuff. And I wasn't necessarily having a bad time. It's just I've seen this type of movie before, and it wasn't really doing anything new with it. Except for the little bits of the heavy material about domestic violence that was being thrown in there. But the last third kind of really, I won't say it gets into the weeds, because this movie is a bit about domestic violence, and it doesn't get into it as much as other movies do. But I think it gets into it just enough for a mainstream audience. It does deal with it enough in the sense that it treats it with the respect that this subject should have, but without getting so much into the gruesome details of the reality of domestic violence that a lot of people will leave the movie feeling icky and uncomfortable. Because the movie does end on a positive note, and it has a rather uplifting message for people who either have been or are currently in situations where they are experiencing or have experienced domestic violence or know someone who has. And I applaud the movie for that. Some people might say that it's too unrealistic, or it doesn't get into enough detail, but I don't think the movie's trying to be that kind of movie. It's trying to appeal to a lot of people while still having a positive message about dealing with and responding to and protecting yourself from domestic violence. And I do think the movie it's good of the movie to do that. So yeah, it's a recommendation for me if you are into a romantic drama type of movie. There is the cliches, there is a love triangle and all the schmaltzy stuff in there, but I do think it kind of draws you in with that surface level stuff, and then uses it to highlight some of the more serious drama aspects of the movie that I found really engaging and really interesting in that last third there. So yeah, it ends with us. If you are interested, then you can go ahead and check it out.